Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into one of the single biggest leaps happening in technology right now, the incredible rise of AI agents. And if you think AI is just about chatbots, well, you're going to want to stick around because we're entering a brand new era. This is about AI that can actually do things. Let's get into this massive shift from talkers to doers.
So what is this agentic shift all about? Well, the easiest way to get it is to think about talkers versus doers. The chatbots we all know and use, they're amazing talkers. You ask a question, they give you an answer. But an AI agent, that's a whole different ballgame. You don't just ask it a question. You give it a goal, and it goes out and works to make it happen.
Okay, so if we want to get a little more specific, here's the working definition everyone's using. An AI agent is an autonomous system. It doesn't just respond, it actually pursues goals. And it does this by making its own decisions, using tools, like your calendar, a web browser, anything really, and taking actions, all without needing you to hold its hand every step of the way.
But how on earth is that even possible? I mean, it sounds like science fiction, right? Well, it all comes down to a huge change in how these AIs think. We're now in what some are calling the slow thinking revolution. And honestly, it's a total game changer. The best way to wrap your head around this is with this two modes of thinking idea. Your typical AI runs on System 1 thinking. It's fast, it's instinctual, it's basically just matching patterns from all the data it was trained on. Agentic AI, though, introduces System 2 thinking. It can actually stop, reason, and plan its way through a new problem. It's the difference between a gut reaction and a really thought-out strategy.
So this slow thinking isn't just magic. It works in a cycle, what we call the reason-act loop. First, the agent reasons about its goal. Then it acts. It picks a tool and does something. After that, it observes the result. Did that work? What's no? And finally, it refines its plan for the next loop. It's this constant process of trial, error, and learning, pretty much exactly how you or I would tackle a big project.
Now, you can probably guess that a capability like this has set off a huge wave of excitement about what this means for the economy. The big vision here isn't just about making better software, it's about completely changing the idea of work itself.
And this quote from Sequoia Capital just nails it. The goal here isn't for AI agents to compete with other software companies. No, the idea is that they'll compete in the global services market, which is measured in trillions. We're talking about automating whole workflows that are currently done by people, literally turning human labor into software.
And listen, this is not some far-off future fantasy. It is happening right now. We're already seeing this first wave of companies targeting these high-skill jobs. You've got Harvey acting as an AI lawyer, Factory as an AI software engineer, Sierra handling customer support, and even a company called Xbow building an AI pen tester, which is basically an AI hacker that tests a company's own security.
Okay, so the potential is obviously massive, and the hype is through the roof. But let's take a breath. What's actually happening on the ground today? It's time to bring this back to Earth with a little data-driven reality check.
Because this is the question, right? This is what everyone is really wondering. With all of this incredible promise, are companies actually running their businesses on AI agents today?
And what's so fascinating is what the data from McKinsey shows us. Look at this. Curiosity is sky high. 62% of organizations are experimenting. But, and this is the key part, look at the number actually scaling these systems across their business. Only 23%. This tells us we are still in the very, very early days. A lot of people are kicking the tires, but that deep, widespread integration, it's still a ways off.
This chart makes the challenge even more clear. Look at this impact gap. While a huge 88% of companies say they're using AI in some way, only 39% are seeing a real, measurable impact on their profits. So there's this giant gap between using the tech and actually getting that game-changing value out of it. So why the gap? Well, because these hurdles are absolutely massive. We're talking about serious security risks when you give an AI this much autonomy. There's the danger of agentic misalignment. That's a fancy term for when the agent tries to achieve a goal in a totally destructive way. And then you have the nuts and bolts problems like crazy high costs, massive energy use, and the fact that we often can't even explain why the agent did what it did. These are not easy problems to fix.
So, with this really complex reality, where does that leave all of us? Is this just a story about humans getting replaced? Well, all the data seems to point to something way more interesting, actually. It's a story about human augmentation. It's about our new superpower.
Get this, a huge study from Harvard, BCG, and MIT found that when you pair a professional with an AI on a complex task, the quality of their work goes up by an incredible 40%. 40! This is not about the AI taking over. It's about a human-machine team, this cyborg advantage, that can do things neither one could do alone.
So what does this new human advantage actually look like? Well, first up is strategic orchestration. In a world where an AI can do almost anything, our value shifts. The skill of the future isn't having the answers, it's asking the right questions. The agent handles the how, but we have to set the why. We become the conductors of this unbelievably powerful orchestra. Second is the ethics and trust layer. Think about it. As we hand over more and more of the doing to agents, who's ultimately responsible when something goes wrong? We are. The human role as the ethical backstop, the person who manages risk and makes sure the agent is working safely and fairly, that becomes more valuable than ever. You just can't outsource accountability. And finally, empathy and creativity. Look, an AI is predictive. It looks at all the data from the past to guess the most likely next step. But humans, we're inventive. We can imagine a future that has never existed. An AI can't read the subtle vibe in a tense negotiation. It can't have a truly original idea that breaks all the patterns. That's our superpower.
I think this quote from Forbes just wraps it all up perfectly. Agentic AI is a high-speed engine. It's unbelievably powerful, and it can take us almost anywhere at a speed we can't even comprehend. But it doesn't have a steering wheel. That's our job. We're the ones who have to grab the wheel and decide where we're all going.
So as we wrap this up, the big takeaway here isn't fear, it's an invitation. An invitation for all of us to upgrade our roles. The machine is here, it's ready to do the work, the tedious stuff. The real question this tech asks all of us is this: with that incredible power now at your fingertips, what truly valuable, truly human difference will you make?